What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Ronda here, and I'm back with another video. I'm on a time crunch right now, so this video won't be too long, but I just wanted to make this video for this reason right here. We're coming into spring pretty soon, so a lot of you guys can start traveling, and summer will be around the corner before you know it. But a lot of you guys gonna go travel and all that other stuff, but not really paying attention or realizing about what's actually going on in the world right now, especially with this a virus that's going around, and if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in Asia. Now they're saying this originated from bats. If I'm not mistaken, they were saying COVID originated from bats. How true that is, I can't tell you. And India is also having problems too. Now in South Carolina, there's a measles outbreak. I think there's been cases already reported here in North Carolina. It's not surprising, just for the fact that South Carolina, North Carolina were right there, so a lot of people travel in and out of South Carolina and North Carolina, so it's not really a surprise there. Now we go over to what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine having problems with their electricity. They're in, I guess, the heart of winter right now. Some areas in Ukraine don't have electricity. Russia is purposely targeting their civilians even more now. I was wondering why, because there was a situation, I don't know how true it is, but there was a situation about apparently Russia used to drone and struck a bus, a civilian bus, and when the people was exiting the bus and seemed alive, I guess he sent a second one and targeted them again. But it's believable that he probably would do that because you know, Russia just don't care, especially with the war with Ukraine right now, and also how NATO and America have been helping. Now, it seemed like NATO or the other European countries not really too much caring about America, especially with our, we're over here talking about going after Greenland. And we know Germany said that they can't trust us. They can't trust the United States. And if I'm not mistaken, Germany is in, you know, NATO. I'm just telling me we're going to get to the point where us here in the United States is going to be kicked out of NATO depending on what happens. Now, if we go after Greenland, I would not be surprised if we get kicked out of NATO, because we know we already been, you know, told plenty of times by our allies to stop it, all the other stuff. They can't trust us. And we have so much drama also going on over here. That is not happening over there, but the stuff that's going on over here with you had the border issue that was going on. We have issues with Canada. We know we have issues with Russia. It's not a surprise. We know we have issues with Iran. We struck Iran last year. It was supposed to go after the nuclear programs, and then Iran was making threats on us again if we would have helped with the protests. Their people, with the protest that was going on over there, where Iran was killing their own citizens and all that other stuff. Now, there was a case the other day that apparently Iran was trying to go after one of our aircraft carriers or something over there, which is believable, but I guess we shot the drone down. If I'm not mistaken, it was a drone. So I would not rule out that the United States eventually strikes Iran, as they said they was going to do it. They canceled talks with the Iranian leader. So they say. Can't believe everything America says, you know. We know the situation with ICE. We know the situation that happened in Minneapolis. We know the situation that happened there with the shooting with, if I'm not mistaken, her name was Renee. Then all the other stuff that's been going on in Los Angeles with their protests. They're in Portland, and we know Minneapolis, Chicago been having protests. Charlotte been having protests on and off. ICE was in Charlotte a few months ago. A few months ago, maybe it was earlier this year. No, it was late last year around like December time frame. ICE was here in Charlotte and was in Raleigh. They didn't come to my city because it's a military town and we kind of know how that will go. But then if you take your attention off of what's going on with the world, for as in like conflicts and political stuff, you got to go to how the climate is. Now, if you look at how this winter be going here in America right now, the West Coast seem like they've been getting like the warm weather. You know, they've been chilling and stuff. Really not surprising. Now, if you fast forward to the East Coast and the Deep South and the Southeast and all that, and the Northeast, those areas, we had the ice storm, or the winter storm that went from Texas all the way up to the Northeast. Now, the ice storm was devastating for northern Mississippi. Made its way across to the Carolinas. We had one system. It wasn't like really big, but it brought like some snow before that storm. Before the weekend that storm happened, parts of Alabama, parts of Georgia, and parts of Florida, there was like some light snow, you know, flying around, probably moderate and heavy somewhere in some county somewhere, and then that went away. Now that was on a weekend. Then the winter storm that went across from Texas all the way to the Northeast, That was on the weekend. Now I was more on the rain side with that one. This last storm here in the Carolinas, this historic winter storm. I think her name was Gianna, Winter Storm Gianna. She was supposed to stall out as a bomb, well, turn into a bomb cyclone. She made her way up to the northeast. Did she impact? I can't tell you, but they was really focused on South Carolina, North Carolina, and parts of Georgia. But North Carolina was the main focus because where it was at, and it brought, literally in my city, it brought 16 inches of snow. But some people in my county was reporting 29 inches fell. So that was a historic snowfall. Will we have something like that again next year? I can't tell you. It's believable that could happen, but that part was like once in like so many decades. So that was the most snow I ever saw in my life here in North Carolina. North Carolina, most people would probably think, oh, North Carolina is in the north, y'all get snow. It's not really that. North Carolina is to the south. I know some people view that differently. North Carolina is to the south, and I'm not mistaken, Virginia is the south. It's just a a different south. But if you're outside the mountains in North Carolina during the wintertime, it's kind of hard to get snow. Now, if you're in the Charlotte area, you probably get more snow, higher chance of seeing snow versus Raleigh, or it's probably vice versa. Now, if you're here on the coast, like especially like here in Jacksonville or down in Wilmington or New Bern, those areas, Morehead City, probably out in the Outer Banks, like King Devil Hills and stuff like that, Kitty Hawk, it's kind of hard to get snow because first of all, we're like right there on the Atlantic Ocean. That's like kind of equivalent of, I guess you can say, the Panhandle of Florida seeing snow versus trying to see snow down there in Orlando or down far south in Florida as in Miami. That's kind of like how that goes right there, if that makes sense. Now, my point is, places in America have been seeing a lot more active winter this year. From Texas to the northeast. The last storm again hit the Carolinas very hard. I-85 in North Carolina had the National Guard deployed due to a pile up. I guess it was a minor accident on an exit ramp, and it caused 100+ cars to pile up on I-85 coming across through North Carolina. I didn't hear any issues about I-40. I'm pretty sure parts of I-40 in North Carolina was shut down. If you guys don't know, that's a major interstate running from, if I'm not mistaken, Wilmington, North Carolina, all the way out to California. So that's basically a major east to west interstate. I didn't really hear no problems coming out from there, if no problems at all. I know, especially around the Raleigh area, I didn't hear it probably was shut down in some parts of Raleigh because I-40 going through Raleigh ain't no joke. I know in my county there was like 29 accidents. No, I read that wrong. It was 29 accidents actually from 12 p.m. that day to 5:30. It was like, car slide and all that other stuff. Now, I think total in my county was 100 accidents reported. Which is not surprising here in the South. We all know that we're not capable of driving in the snow. We don't see snow that much anyways. If my area ever sees snow, it's mainly like an inch. That's like our average. An inch or two is like our average here if we get snow a year. But if we fast forward from that, let's go back to what's going on in the world. I know I just came from that part, but it just hit my mind. You have nuclear talks going on, which has been going on, especially when the war started. But if you look at it now, just think how things going with Ukraine and Russia. Russia started the war back in February 2022, and the war is still going on. They've been making threats against America, supposed to be making peace deals, and every time they do a peace deal, or do talks about a peace deal, the war still continues. So somebody don't get something that they want out of it. We all know what Russia wants. They basically don't want Ukraine with a military at all. And the more NATO and America helps Ukraine, it seems like the more angrier Russia gets. But we all know Russian president is playing our president. It's not a surprise. So you guys just gonna have to watch out, especially if you're traveling, because you don't know what can happen. Like, we can have a situation where our gas lines get hacked again, or our power grid get hacked again. A lot of people say our power grid is pretty vulnerable to happen. It's really not surprising. Or you can be stuck somewhere because there was a lockdown in the city you traveled to because some type of attack or something was going on. I'm not talking about no missile attack. I'm talking about like terrorist or threats or something was going on. The city had to put on lockdown. Bomb threats. You just never know what you can get encounter, especially as you go into the summer, with the spring and summer, and especially the situation that's been going on with ICE. It's bound to happen from one of these countries. If it's Iran, we know we have issues with them. Is it from Mexico? We know we have issues with Canada. I don't think they would do something like that. They probably would stop shipments and stuff over here. Now we know what's going on in China. It's not hard. We know America have a lot of places that can be targeted, especially with viruses and stuff like that. Let's say China be making a virus and come over here, send somebody over here to America acting like they're doing business work. Let's say go to New York City, or let's say go to Charlotte or Raleigh, or let's say Chicago or Los Angeles or San Francisco or Seattle or Austin, somewhere that's heavily populated. and release that virus. It's not hard for people to travel from plane to plane, state to state, and before you know it, we have another COVID 2.0 or something going around. A lot of people have already been complaining this year. It's really started around Christmas time. Aches and fevers and all that other stuff, which seemed like it was more of a setup. First of all, it could be a distraction, because if you think of everything that goes on, even the capture of Nicolas Maduro from when the U.S. did their airstrikes on Venezuela, and it captured their president and his wife, that could also be a distraction for like these viruses and stuff like that. And you know, the United States could do that again and possibly go after Iran. I would not rule out the United States coming after Iran. When they're going to do it, I can't tell you. We know it was fooled last time, or a lot of us were fooled last time when the United States went after Iran. We thought we was tracking one plane on flight radar, but actually we was tracking dummy planes, and the actual planes went a whole different direction. I know a lot of you guys heard about that. So with that being said, I was looking at my time. With that being said, I don't want to hold you guys too long. Again, I'm on a time crunch. I just want to get that out there for you guys. I will be having a news video coming out tomorrow, hopefully. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified each and every time your boy here uploads a new video. And just stay vigilant out there, because again, you do not know what you're going to come across, especially if you're traveling, especially as places warm up and stuff. People coming from other countries, if you know what I mean, and you're just out of it and say, hey, let's go to this concert, let's go to this NFL game, let's go to this NBA game, go to this big event or a parade or something like that, and just lash out. So you just never know what can happen. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified each and every time your boy here uploads a new video. And with that being said, I got to get ready to go. And with that being said, it's your boy Ronde right here, out.